Welcome to Desolation.
From space 4000, y'all know how we get down.
Making their way to the ring, the new Mixed Tag Team Champions, Rhea Ripley and Darby Allin. Where were their tag team championships? You all might be wondering why we don't have our tag team championships on us. Well, tonight we defend our tag team championships in a ladder match. Oh man, what a way to kick off Desolation. Darby getting the ladders, Rhea getting the ladder. Oh man, ladder match to kick off Desolation, but who are they going to be facing? Oh man, the tag team we seen form last week. And their opponents, the Toxic Spider Tekla and the Big Red Machine, Kane. What are they doing? Rhea with the ladder. Fall away slam to the ladder, and Darby Allin dives at the ladder to take out Tekla and Kane. What a way to kick off this ladder match. They take out Kane and Tekla. Maybe they can rush back into the ring and capture the titles, but Tekla's up already and going after Rhea Ripley, slamming her face first into that prop and then again onto the stage. Kane sits up. Kane grabbing the ladder. Darby dives at him but eats a boot and then sends him into the steel steps, and Kane back into the ring. Going after the ladder. Tekla gets slammed into the apron by Rhea Ripley as Kane sets up the ladder in the middle of the ring. Back body drop by Rhea Ripley to Tekla on the apron. Kane makes his way to the top of the ladder. Rhea Ripley in the ring. And Rhea Ripley tips over the ladder and Kane into that ladder set up in the corner. Rhea Ripley picks Kane up on her shoulders and back body drops Kane into that ladder, and it gave way in the middle. Rhea Ripley on fire. Tekla gets blasted in the head by that ladder trying to get back into the ring. Rhea sets up the ladder, but she's up in the choke slam. Kane's got Rhea choke slam, but Darby Allin trips the leg and Rhea lands on Kane. Tekla coming with a Hurricane Rana to Darby. Darby slams her into the steel steps. And Darby and Rhea switch. Crossbody to Kane by Darby into the ring, and Rhea Ripley crossbody to Tekla outside of the ring. And Darby Allin ripping at the head of Kane. And Rhea elbows on the outside to Tekla, but Kane throwing Darby into that ladder. Tekla gets rammed right here in front of our announce desk. Tekla, what has she got us? Cinder block to the head of Rhea Ripley, and Tekla sets up those steel steps. Kane with a boot to Darby in the ring as Tekla Has Rhea Ripley at the top of the steel steps on the outside of the ring, but Rhea Ripley reverses suplex, throwing Tekla at her partner Kane, and Darby Allin comes diving at Tekla off of Kane onto the steel steps on the outside of the ring. And now Rhea trying to pull Kane out of the ring, but Kane back body drops Rhea Ripley in. Rhea Ripley up immediately, and Rhea Ripley hits the riptide to Kane onto that ladder. What a ladder match here to kick off Desolation. Rhea Ripley goes to set up that ladder, but it's broken, so she throws it away, and that other ladder also has some damage to it. Rhea Ripley picks up the damaged ladder, but Tekla trips her legs, and the ladder goes tumbling onto Rhea Ripley, and then Tekla off the top rope with a knee drop to Rhea Ripley with the ladder stacked on top of Rhea Ripley, and then a spear by Tekla to Rhea Ripley. Tekla picking Kane back up, and they're trying to get their bearings. Darby Allin in, and the coffin drop, and he misses and hits that ladder. Coffin drops the ladder on the other side of the ring. A lot of force coming down on that ladder by Darby Allin, and now Kane and Tekla stomping at Darby Allin. Kane's got Darby Allin up, chokeslam, but Darby Allin biting at the fingers of Kane, and goes to roll up Kane, and he rolls him up, throws him into Tekla, picks up the ladder, rams the ladder into Kane in the corner, and then slamming the ladder down onto the midsection of Tekla, and he just throws the ladder at both Tekla and Kane in the corner. Darby Allin drop kick to the ladder set up in the corner with Tekla and Kane. Now Darby Allin thinks he's got this match won. He's climbing. But Tekla somehow... Darby Allin's to the top, but Tekla's up. She got up and then fell back, and Darby Allin coffin dropped to Tekla off the ladder. And Rhea Ripley goes to climb the ladder. Kane gets up but falls. Rhea slamming the ladder into Kane, but Kane catches it and throws it away, goes for the boot. Rhea Ripley ducks underneath and gets back body dropped out of the ring. Darby Allin gets to his feet, but Kane picks him up. I think Darby was trying to back body drop Kane, but could not get him up. Kane's got Darby up, but Darby off the back and headbutt to the midsection of Kane. And Darby Allin code red to Kane on the ladder. He climbs up the ladder, and the coffin drop to Kane, and they tumble out of the ring through the ropes. Tekla's the only one left in the ring. And Tekla climbing up the ladder. Can she get it? Rhea Ripley missile drop kick to the ladder. Tekla goes tumbling all the way outside of the ring. Darby springboards the ladder onto the ladder. Rhea Ripley climbs up, and they capture the titles. Rhea Ripley and Darby Allin remain your mixed tag team champions. What a ladder match. Brutus Beefcakes clips of the week. Somebody get out here right now. Making his way to the ring. Cut my music. It is plain disrespectful that I am on the LZW brand and Billy Graham refuses to give me anything. I am the Queen, Charlotte Flair. I demand a match here tonight. I demand respect. On my name, I am a Flair. Woo! What you got for me? Oh man! Stephanie Vacker is on Desolation. And Charlotte, she demanded some competition, but she did not expect Stephanie Vacker to step up. Vacker is here. And the bell sounds and we are underway. Charlotte, Stephanie Vacker lock up for the first time on Desolation. For the first time ever, Stephanie with a headlock takeover. They're both back up. Waist lock. Charlotte picks her up. Stephanie with the arm drag. Stephanie trips the legs. And on top of Charlotte going for the STO, but Charlotte quickly gets to the ropes, out onto the apron. Stephanie out onto the apron. And oh man, trouble in paradise. That backbreaker maneuver by Stephanie Vacker. And a drop kick to Charlotte. Stephanie with the arm drag. Goes for the drop kick. Charlotte Flair avoids it. And Charlotte Flair's got Stephanie up. Hangs her up on the ropes and then a boot. She's up on the second rope. Crossbody outside. Stephanie Vacker and Charlotte come tumbling out of the ring. What a crossbody by Charlotte Flair. Charlotte's got Stephanie up. Suplexing Stephanie outside and then a kip up. Charlotte is not going to be upstaged here tonight. She is the queen. Stephanie Vacker up and drop kicks her right here in front of our announce desk. Stephanie pulling Charlotte out onto her head, and then Alabama slamming her onto the outside out here in front of our announce desk and sends her back into the ring. Stephanie back in. A knee to the gut to Charlotte and snapmaring her in the center of the ring. And Stephanie with her legs wrapped around the head. And Stephanie, devil's kiss, sending her down into the center of the ring head first over and over. And Stephanie back rolling stomp onto Charlotte and up to the top. Or up to the middle rope and turns around into a drop kick off the middle rope. Flipping off the back of Charlotte and arm drags her into the corner. And then cartwheels up to the top rope on the back of Charlotte and jumping knees to the back. The small of the back of Charlotte as they tumble off the top rope. And Stephanie, I thought she was going to roll up Charlotte, but a submission hold. She grabs the back of her neck with the legs, but Charlotte able to get out and reverse it into the figure eight. What a reversal. Stephanie caught up in the figure eight. Her shoulders down, but she gets up. And Stephanie rolls over into the ropes, breaking the figure eight. Charlotte pushes Stephanie into the ropes and a clothesline, brings her back to a short arm clothesline and a knee by Charlotte to the head of Stephanie Vacker. Now picking her up, suplex, puts her on the top rope. And Charlotte with a chop to the face of Stephanie, and now has got her hooked for a superplex, but Stephanie reverses it. Stephanie inside out superplex. And a headbutt by Stephanie. Ankles around the head of Charlotte, but Charlotte brings her up onto her shoulder. Stephanie on the apron. Charlotte with the boots to the midsection, a knee, forearm. And Charlotte pulling Stephanie back in, neck breaker. Brings her up to the top rope and slams her down with that neck breaker. Charlotte now climbing to the top rope. Stephanie down. Charlotte waiting for Stephanie to get to her feet, and she goes for a crossbody. Stephanie Vacker with a drop kick countering the crossbody. Stephanie Vacker up. Spiral tap. And Stephanie Vacker seals the win in her debut on Desolation against Charlotte. What a debut for Stephanie Vacker. Stephanie Vacker. Telling you, man, best tacos. They're like an 8. Man. Hey, seekers of justice. Now, I'm not gonna pussyfoot around. The reason why I'm here, guys, is I want to be a seeker. I am tired of all the crap in this business. All the crap. I'm sick of it. You guys have been through enough. Yeah, we've been through a lot. Damn straight. And I can help. I have so many skill sets that this group needs. Alright, Seth. I'll tell you what. I got a main event match here tonight against the Great Muda. And you can join me at ringside tonight. He's working with the NWO. I don't know the Great Muda. I don't know what he's got planned. I'll help you. Ladies and gentlemen, the Death Grips Tag Team Championships are on the line. Here comes, ladies and gentlemen, the #1 contenders for the Death Grips Tag Team Championships. Jim the Anvil Neidhart and Brett the Hitman Hart, accompanied to the ring by Mouth of the South, Jimmy Hart, the Hart Foundation. I got the Hart Foundation with the steel steps, throwing them at the Bludgeon Brothers before the match even begins. And now they've got Bray Wyatt. What the hell? And Jimmy Hart helping the Hart Foundation get Bray Wyatt in the ring. What do they have planned? And Jim Hart with handcuffs, handcuffing Brody Lee and stomping him in the face. DDT to Eric Rowan, but Eric Rowan overpowering. But Bret Hart there to help. Double team suplex. Eric Rowan on those steel steps. And now Jimmy Hart's got the steel chair, trapping Bray Wyatt in the corner, and Sting saying no, and Jim Hart pulling Sting away as Bret Hart smashes the chair into Jimmy Hart's chair he had hovering over Bray Wyatt. Now Sting helping Bray Wyatt out of the corner. This was a good game plan from the Hart Foundation, you have to admit. Bret Hart with a headlock to Eric Rowan, and Eric Rowan gets out. Bret Hart trying to roll away, but Eric Rowan throwing Bret Hart into the corner, rushes in, gets booted in the face, and tripped. Chop block by Bret Hart. Brody Lee trying to get out of those handcuffs. Bret Hart goes for the sharpshooter, but Eric Rowan's leg's too strong. Eric Rowan goes for the tag, but his partner's not there. But Bret Hart able to make the tag to Jim Hart. Jim the Anvil Neidhart stomping down on Eric Rowan after he threw him out on the apron. Now pulling him back in. Spine. No. Atomic drop. And they go for that double team, but Eric Rowan throwing Jim Hart into Bret Hart. And the boot. Jimmy Hart up on the apron. Eric Rowan bills him into Bret Hart. Eric Rowan going to run him over, but they pick him up. Double team. Flapjack in the center of the ring. Bret Hart with a knee across the head of Eric Rowan and pulls his manager out to safety. Brody Lee broke the handcuffs. Finally, he was able to snap the handcuffs, and staring down Bret Hart and Jimmy Hart, he throws Bret Hart into those steel steps and slams Jimmy Hart into Bret Hart and those steps as well. And Brody Lee in the ring, and he hits Jim Hart with those handcuffs. Sting's going to allow it because of what happened before the bell. Sting with some leeway here. Eric Rowan with a spine buster. Eric Rowan gets spine bustered by Jim the Anvil Neidhart, and then a shoulder block. Eric Rowan back body drop. And a leg drop across the throat of Jim Hart. And Eric Rowan, black hole slam Center of the ring, Brody Lee up after checking on Bray Wyatt. And now Brody Lee is legal. Eric Rowan makes the tag. Brody Lee with a clothesline to Jim Hart and a boot taking out Bret Hart. Slides out of the ring, picking up Bret Hart, and he's not done with him. Throwing Bret Hart back into the ring. Throwing Bret Hart into Jim Hart. And picking up Bret Hart and Jim Hart. Oh my God. Electric chair to Bret Hart. And Bret Hart back body drops Jim Hart about 15 feet in the air. Brody Lee picking up Bret Hart. Goes back to his corner. Eric Rowan makes the tag and a powerbomb in the corner to Bret Hart by Brody Lee. And now Eric Rowan picking up Jim Hart powerbomb. And I think we're about to see the bludgeoning. Yes. Smacks the back of Bret Hart and Jim Hart together and then powerbombs him to the mat. Throwing Bret Hart and Jim Hart the center of the ring. And Jimmy Hart, the Bludgeon Brothers. Oh my God, Brody Lee. Powerbomb. And he's going to the top rope. Oh my God. Jimmy Hart powerbombed off the top rope into the pile. The Hart Foundation is done. Hospital bill piled to the ceiling after that bludgeoning. And the Bludgeon Brothers retain their tag team championships. And your winners, and still the Death Grips Tag Team Champions, Brody Lee and Eric Rowan, the Bludgeon Brothers. Hey, Queen. What do you want, Rhonda? Look, things haven't been going our way, either of our way here on Desolation. All I want is for you and me to team up, because I think together we can rule this division. Let's do it. Ladies and gentlemen, the following contest is a 6-woman tag team match. Introducing first, the man, Becky Lynch. And our tag team partner, first, Trish Stratus. And their tag team partner, Stephanie McMahon. I'ma be here for a mini sunny boy if you like it or not. When you think about chicks and whips, I'm on a yacht though, laid back, sun in my face just like Pablo or Tony Montana. The world is mine. Ain't a cloud in the sky that can stop my shine. I love it. I done came from the grime and grit. Now I'm on top, shining on some rhyme and shit. When you think about and their opponent, first, Thunder Rosa. And our tag team partner first, Chris Statlander. And their tag team partner, Eve. And Eve going straight into the ring at the fire crossbody at all three. And Thunder Rosa in and a missile drop kick into the corner. Chris Statlander getting rid of Stephanie McMahon. We're underway. Thunder Rosa, Becky Lynch starting it off. Thunder Rosa and the hammerlock by Becky Lynch. Thunder Rosa lowering her hips and turns out of it. Becky Lynch turns with her and keeps the hammerlock in. Thunder Rosa reaches down and pulls the leg of Becky Lynch out. Gets the roll up and the stomp to the chest. Stomp to the chest, Thunder Rosa going for the tag. But Becky Lynch pulls her back. And Becky Lynch has her up, suplex. Thunder Rosa off, pushes her to the ropes, ducks underneath. Off the back, trips the legs of Becky Lynch. Becky Lynch to the apron, and Thunder Rosa over the top rope, leg drop across the back of the head. Stephanie McMahon tries to come in for a shot, but Thunder Rosa shuts her down. Becky Lynch with a shot, taking Thunder Rosa off the apron. Thunder Rosa quickly back in, kick to the midsection, off the back of Becky Lynch. Goes for the elbow, but Becky Lynch catches her. Rebounds off the ropes. Becky Lynch ducks underneath, leapfrog by Becky Lynch, kick to the midsection, and then the neck breaker. Thunder Rosa rolls up Becky Lynch. Thunder Rosa goes for an elbow, but Becky Lynch ducks. And Becky Lynch flips over the top, trips the legs of Thunder Rosa, goes for an arm drag, but Thunder Rosa holds on. Becky Lynch swings around the other way with the arm drag, and now stomping down on Thunder Rosa. Becky Lynch throws Thunder Rosa back into the ring, and she's back into the ring, makes the tag to Stephanie McMahon. Stephanie comes in, over the top, stomp, and double stomp down on Thunder Rosa. Stephanie McMahon, snapmare to Thunder Rosa. Circles around and another snapmare, and then that spiral splash by Stephanie McMahon, going to the top rope for another one. And she makes the tag to Eve, and in comes Eve. Eve, what a kick. Kick to the head of Stephanie McMahon, picks her up. Pump handle throw. And drop kicks Becky Lynch as she tries to get into the ring. But Stephanie McMahon takes her down. She's got her in the Boston Crab. And look, Eve reaching for the ropes and Becky Lynch pulling the ropes away from her, and Sting caught her. Becky Lynch acting like she didn't do anything. And Trish behind Sting's back, pushing Eve back to the center of the ring. Wow, Becky Lynch had Sting distracted, and he turns around finally. And Eve trying to break out of this, catapulted into the fist of Trish Stratus. Stephanie tags her in, and Trish in with a chick kick. Goes for the pin. Thunder Rosa breaks it up. And staying at Thunder Rosa, and look at that, Becky Lynch and Stephanie McMahon pulling Eve and Trish back to their corner. Trish going for that bulldog, but Eve sends her out of the ring. Stephanie goes for a shot, but Eve ducks underneath, and Eve bringing in Stephanie. Becky Lynch comes in to make the save, but Eve throwing Stephanie into Becky Lynch. Trish Stratus, though, making sure Eve stays in that part of the ring. Kick to the midsection, headlock takeover. Trish and Eve both go for the tag. Trish tags in Becky Lynch. Eve tags in Chris Statlander. Stat leg lariat. Off the back of Becky Lynch, knee to Stephanie. And Becky Lynch picking up Statlander, and Trish grabs her, but Statlander pulls Trish in. Handstand springboard off the back of Becky Lynch. Oh my God, lands on Trish, and they flip out. But Chris Statlander tombstones Trish down. Becky Lynch goes for the save, but Statlander drops to her knees, tombstoning Trish. Becky Lynch pulls Chris Statlander back in, goes for the manhandle slam. Chris Statlander arm drag. Makes the tag to Thunder Rosa. Knee to the corner to Becky Lynch. Thunder Rosa springboard. Drop kick to the back of the head. Death Valley driver combination. Thunder Rosa going for the pin. Stephanie in to break it up. Thunder Rosa to her feet. Stephanie to her feet. Thunder Rosa clotheslining Stephanie out of the ring. Trish back up to the apron. Thunder Rosa strikes her off the apron. Stephanie back up. Thunder Rosa. What a shot to Stephanie, and Becky Lynch with a knee to the back of Thunder Rosa. And in comes Eve. Becky Lynch on the shoulder of Eve. Eve going for a body slam. Trish in, trips the leg of Eva Elise. And stomping down on Eva Elise. Becky Lynch clotheslining Eva Elise out of the ring. Springboard by Thunder Rosa. Drop kicks Becky Lynch. Stephanie McMahon back up on the apron. Spiral splash. She rolls back out. Trish back in. Trish going for the chick kick, but Chris Statlander catches it and throwing Trish into her arms. Becky Lynch pulling Trish off the back of Chris Statlander, and Thunder Rosa jumps over Chris Statlander, drop kicking both Trish Stratus and Becky Lynch. And Chris Statlander brings in Stephanie McMahon, head scissoring her, and then a Hurricane Rana by Eva Elise to Stephanie McMahon off the top rope. What carnage in this 6-woman tag team match. Stephanie McMahon in, clothesline to Eve, back elbow kick to the mid. Goes for the neck breaker, but Eve counters it, and the spin wheel kick by Eve, and she's out on the apron. Becky Lynch out on the apron too. Leapfrogging Becky Lynch on the apron, and Eve arm dragging Becky Lynch into Trish Stratus. What a match we have. She gets back into the ring. Stephanie McMahon kick to the gut. Stephanie McMahon going for the pedigree, but Eve brings her back into her corner. Chris Statlander in, over Eve with the knee. Eve sends Stephanie McMahon into Chris Statlander, tombstone. No, Stephanie McMahon able to counter an arm drag. Chris Statlander, Eve gets thrown out of the ring by Stephanie. Stephanie out to impress the $1 Million Foundation here tonight. Pedigree, Thunder Rosa springboard kick to the head of Stephanie McMahon. These women going all out tonight. Chris Statlander gets taken out with a chop block by Becky Lynch. Becky Lynch just neck breaker. Thunder Rosa on the apron on the other side. Oh my God, spiral headbutt by Stephanie McMahon. Trish Stratus taking out Eve. Ramming her into the apron. Thunder Rosa ramming Becky Lynch's head into the apron on the other side, but Becky Lynch trips her legs, picking her up. Manhandle slam, springing her off the rope onto the floor. They are putting it all on the line here tonight. Which team will come out victorious? Trish Stratus pulling Chris Statlander out. Oh man, and Stephanie McMahon with a splash to Chris Statlander as she was hung up. Eve brainbuster to Trish onto that stage prop. And that her head could have got caught in that. Thunder Rosa in the ring with Becky Lynch up on the shoulder. Becky Lynch off the shoulder. And a knee to the gut of Thunder Rosa. Becky Lynch. Crucifix pin. Thunder Rosa turns her around. And now she's going for the armbar. But Thunder Rosa, what strength picking Becky Lynch up. Thunder Rosa's got her up. Thunder Rosa just powerbombing her into Chris Statlander. I'm sure she meant to powerbomb her into the corner, but right into her partner. And Thunder Rosa going to the top for the frog splash, but Stephanie McMahon pushing her off. Rolling back in the ring. Stephanie and Trish. And Stephanie just throws Trish into Eve, taking out Eve. Drop kicks Chris Statlander. Throwing Thunder Rosa back into the ring. and yelling at Becky Lynch to get up. Becky Lynch up. Manhandle slam. Nails it. Becky Lynch nails the manhandle slam, but she can't make the pin. Stephanie McMahon pulling Becky to her corner, making the tag. Stephanie has got this in the bag, it looks like. Stephanie throwing Becky Lynch out onto Eve, making sure she doesn't come back in to break it up. And a power slap by Stephanie McMahon. The power slap for the win, and she gets it. Stephanie McMahon wins, and she is so excited to bring home a win to the $1 Million Foundation. And your winners, Trish Stratus, Becky Lynch. Stephanie going to raise the hand of Becky Lynch, but her and Trish are not happy the way Stephanie McMahon threw them into their competitors and the way she got the win. But she definitely used them to get the win. Justice, I'm sorry. Man, it has not been you. It's been me. It's been me, okay? Look, you can stop with this whole all apologetic thing. I know you're just doing it because Shane's gone now. Shane got injured, so you have nobody to fight the first round of your tournament. You may not see it in me, but I see it in me. I am still the next big thing. I'm being apologetic because I've been a dick, Justice, but you don't get out of line. I have people that want to join the $1 Million Foundation, and I found somebody to fight you. If only you could be more like Steph. Good job, Steph. Stephanie brought a win tonight to the $1 Million Foundation. When's the last thing you've done for the $1 Million Foundation, Justice? There will be more where that came from. Slapping the face off that bitch felt so good, and I am not done. That's what I like to hear, Steph. Now, y'all want to see who might be taking your spot, Justice? Stephanie, you'll find out next week who I've got you to fight at Arena. But Justice, you will be fighting Tommaso Ciampa at Arena. The first match, JJ Justice, Tommaso Ciampa. Stephanie, you'll see who you're fighting next week. I'm looking forward to it. Tommaso Ciampa? Are you kidding me? You think you can replace me with Tommaso Ciampa? Yeah. I think he just might. I'll see you at Arena. Good luck. You're gonna need it. You son of a bitch. Still think it's gonna be that easy? I don't think you could have beat Shane that easy, but we'll see. Stephanie, I'm proud of you, but don't let me down ever again. Ladies and gentlemen, the following contest is the main event, and it is for the LZW World Heavyweight Championship. Introducing first, the Great Muta.
Stand back! There's a hurricane coming through!
And his opponent, the LZW Lightning Zone Wrestling World Heavyweight Champion, accompanied to the ring by Seth Rollins, the Hurricane. And we're underway. The Great Muda versus the Hurricane for the championship. The Hurricane grabbing the leg of the Great Muda. Muda grabbing the head of the Hurricane and hits him with those lethal fingers. The Hurricane rolls up Muda. And look at the Hurricane. Great roll up. All of his weight on the chest of Muda, but Muda rolling up the Hurricane in return. And look at that pin. Muda putting all of his weight across the shoulders of the Hurricane. The Hurricane able to kick out before the referee gets down there to pin one. Muda's got the Hurricane. Hurricane off the back of Muda and kicks the legs out, flipping knees to the lower back of Muda. Handstand springboard drop kick, basement drop kick to Muda. Muda goes back to the corner. The Hurricane moves forward with a clothesline in the corner. And the Hurricane springboard, Hurricane Rana, but Muda catches him, power bomb. And a kick to the chest, sending the Hurricane back to the corner. Kick to the midsection. Muda, as the head of the Hurricane, throws him into the ropes. Handstand springboard, but Muda with a kick to the head as he was down in the handstand. Picks him up. Oh, he's going for that head, going for that nasty neck breaker again. Look at the Hurricane able to get out. The Hurricane going for the slice spread, but Muda catches him. Tombstone. Tombstone driver. Sends him down to the mat. The Hurricane hit his head hard. He's on the apron trying to regroup with Rollins, but Muda goes for the drop kick. Hurricane out of the way. Rollins gets drop kicked. Muda with a springboard knee. That's one of Rollins' moves. Taking out Rollins and hitting one of his moves, and then the fingers taking the Hurricane out of the ring. Springboard knee. And throwing Rollins into the ring. Muda not shying away from any outside interference. Muda's got Rollins with the fingers and takes him out with those taped up deadly fingers. And Muda with a dive, suicide dive, taking out the Hurricane right in front of our announce desk. Throwing the Hurricane into the steel steps. Picking the Hurricane up, powerbomb, no, throwing him into those steps. Back first. Hurricane tries to rush Muda, but Muda back body drops Hurricane on the apron. Muda up to the top. No, up to the middle rope on the other side, and a moonsault. Muda assault on the apron onto the Hurricane, throws him back to the ring, and now stalking the champion. Muda going for that great kick. Hurricane ducks underneath. Had Muda up on his shoulders. Muda off the shoulders. The Hurricane rolling up with Muda. Going for the legs, but Muda rolls off his back. The Hurricane's got him on his back. Going for the vertebraker, but Muda able to get off, knee to the midsection, and then heavy strikes by Muda. He was almost caught there in that vertebraker. The Hurricane just sending Muda flying. Raised up and threw Muda with his legs, and then launching off the top rope. He's got Muda. He's got the back of Muda. Dragon Sleeper, picking him up, driving him back down to the mat. Great move there by the Hurricane, but he's got to follow. Pops up to the top rope, and an arm drag, flying arm drag by the Hurricane. Trips the legs of Muda into the corner, head first into that turnbuckle. And a drop kick into the corner, sending his head into the turnbuckle even more, pulling him out. Muda rushes in. Kane off the back of Muda. He's got Muda on his back. Again going for the vertebraker. Muda off the back, trips the legs, flips. Back to his feet, and a kick to the head of the Hurricane, and another kick. One was a roundhouse, one was a straight kick. But the Hurricane rolling through with him, and a nasty kick there. Field goal kick by the Hurricane, and he's resting on the ropes. He's out, not resting for long. Springboard DDT. He nails it. The Hurricane going for the side effect, but throwing him away. Are you kidding me? Vader, what are you doing? And Rollins going after Vader, but Vader shrugs him off in the back fist. And look out, the Exhalator's here. The Exhalator with a title belt off the head of Vader. The Exhalator here to help the Hurricane champion to champion. You love to see it. The Exhalator just gonna sit this right here. Coming up to our announce desk and setting his championship up here. Diving off. Tornado DDTing Vader and taking Vader back to the back, but Hurricane turns around into a roundhouse kick by Muta. The match is still going on. Muta up to the top rope. Muta assault, and he hits all of it. Hurricane kicks out at 2. Muta picking up the Hurricane by the waist and slamming him backbreaker onto the knee. Flips him around, takes out the legs. Going for a STO. Hurricane gets to the ropes before any damage is done. Before the hold's locked in, Muta goes for the knee but misses the Hurricane. Hurricane Rana using the ropes, flipping Muta back in. Springs up to the top rope. Shooting star press, nails all of it. The Hurricane might be retaining. No, only a 2. Muta kicks out. What a main event here tonight. The Hurricane rushes into the corner. Superman forearm in the corner. Hooks the arm of Muta. Hooks the other arm. And the Tiger. Tiger bomb. 2. Muta kicks out at 2. Hurricane hits the ropes. Muta with a big knee. Taking down Hurricane. Muta up to the top rope. Missile drop kick by the great Muta. And Muta with those deadly fingers. What a shot to the head. The Hurricane kicks out. Muta, those fingers are deadly. All of his strikes are. Hurricane rolls them up. Hurricane surprise roll up. Only a 2. And he's got him up. Vertebreaker. He's got him trapped. He's got the arms trapped. And the Hurricane rushes back into the corner and slams him back first onto that top turnbuckle. I think the back of his head may have hit the post as well. And the Hurricane climbing up to the top rope with him in the Vertebreaker position. Vertebreaker, center of the ring by the champion. And the Hurricane's going to retain. What a match. The Great Muta kicks out. He kicked out of a second rope Vertebreaker. The Exhalator throwing back out here by Skella-J, CM Punk, and Andre. Oh man, Rollins with a barricade slamming into Skella-J. CM Punk's got Rollins up. Andre with a shot to the head of Rollins. The Exhalator pulls him off, forearm to Punk. The Exhalator lightning octopus to Andre. He's got him a Skella-J. Big shots to the Exhalator, ruining this main event. The Hurricane springboard. Splash to Skella-J. What shots by the Hurricane to Skella-J. And CM Punk goes to pick up Hurricane, but Hurricane counters. The Hurricane turns him around and an assisted curb stomp by Hurricane and Seth Rollins. Hurricane back into the ring. Gets striked by Muta with those fingers and chopped in the back. And the roundhouse kick by Muta. And we have a new champion. Thanks to all the tomfoolery around the ring, the Great Muta is your new world champion. It's not all thanks to what happened around the ring. The deadly strikes of Muta shut down the Hurricane throughout this match. Thank you all for joining us. This has been Desolation. We have a new Lightning Zone Wrestling World Heavyweight Champion, and his name is the Great Muta.